Thousands of pharmacists work at Rite Aid, but not much longer. Rite Aid used to be the third largest US drug chain store, but now it's filing for bankruptcy, despite generating like $23 billion in revenue by the end of June 2023 in their fiscal year. So what happened? In this video, we'll be covering the rise and fall of this 2,000 store drug empire. And if you're a pharmacist caught in the aftermath, what you should be considering next for your career. So let's explore Rite Aid's journey on how it all became one of the largest pharmacy chains. Rite Aid was founded in 1962 by Alex Grass. It used to be a health and beauty store, and its name used to be Thrift D Discount Center. That's like the perfect name from something in the 60s. But in 1966, the first Rite Aid pharmacy opened in New York. And then in 68, it officially changed its name from Thrift D to Rite Aid. Rite Aid's growth story is more of a story of strategic acquisitions than it is about actually opening up Rite Aids. From 69 to 77, it expanded over 300 stores, but mainly just by buying other companies like Dawn Drug, Superdrug Stores, Keystone Centers, Warner Independent Pharmacy, and Reed's. In 1995, Rite Aid made its largest acquisition by purchasing 224 Perry Drug stores. The following year, it made a joint venture with SmithKline Beecham, which was the leading pharmacy benefit manager at that time. And this is kind of like the same story that Walgreens and CVS did, buying other chain stores, getting into PBMs so that they control the prices of their drugs. And by 1998, over 1,300 stores got rebranded to Rite Aid that used to be Thrifty, Payless, K&B, and Harco. And jumping almost 10 years in 2007, Rite Aid acquired Envision Pharmaceuticals services for $2 billion. They were aiming to try to control, medication pricing with that endeavor too. However, it faced major setbacks and failed mergers attempts in the famous Walgreens 2007 deal. And again with Albertsons in 2018. And I'll talk more about that a little bit later. But in 2022, Rite Aid had over 2,000 stores. And as of June 2024, after some closures, there's about 1,500 stores left. Now, if you dig into the data, the story gets even more interesting. In 2023, Rite Aid produced $3.9 billion in pharmacy services revenue, and another $17.8 billion from just its retail pharmacy segment. So that's the total of $24 billion. Despite this, company claimed for bankruptcy. We kind of all saw it last year in 2023. We heard the rumblings. People in the stores were talking about what's actually happening behind the scenes. Rite Aid recently reported a net loss of $306 million, largely due to, quote, goodwill impairment charge at Elixir, end quote. But what were all the causes, the challenges that led up to this moment? Well, I like to think that the actual downfall of Rite Aid is the common bankruptcy story, which is that all of a sudden it happens, but in actuality, it's a long, slow, steady decline. I think the actual downfall for Rite Aid happened in 2017. Rite Aid starts competing more and more with Walgreens and CVS, and someone at the top realized that they just aren't going to be able to cut it. They know that they're going to need to either merge with another major brand like Albertsons, or they're going to need to sell out to Walgreens or CVS. And the competition at this point is fierce, because not only are they dealing with Walgreens and CVS, but at this point, Walmart, Target, Costco, they're all into the pharmacy scene and they're competing for the same kinds of customers. But after the deals talks with Walgreens failed, a slew of other problems started happening, like the opioid crisis involvement. So the US Department of Justice alleged that Rite Aid filed unlawful prescriptions for controlled substances, ignored red flags, and did all sorts of negative things. There's a few whistleblowers that came out in 2019 that claimed that they were making these invalid claims, brought them forward to the US government, and now the charges just start coming, and it's in the millions and millions of dollars. And if that wasn't worse, they also just keep making weird decisions too, like in October of 2023, They decided to start using some AI to scan faces of people coming into their stores. People are coming in, taking stuff, not reporting it, and they're just leaving. But all of that brought in even more negative publicity. I dug in a little bit into the Rite Aid litigations, and I found that there were $329 million in penalties from these litigations. And on top of that, interestingly, 83 out of the 517 were employment-related offenses. Not a good track record. To make the matter worse for Rite Aid, as you pile on top of all these problems, now vendors don't really want to deal with Rite Aid, right? If you're a store and you're selling other people's things, but you have all of these litigations, your stock prices are tanking, now vendors don't really want to deal with them because they know at the end of the day, they may not get their monies back. So Rite Aid has claimed Chapter 11 bankruptcy to manage its overwhelming debt, as well as its multiple litigation charges. I'm not very well versed in bankruptcy, so maybe you're not either, but Chapter 11 refers to reorganization bankruptcy. So the debtor usually remains in possession and acts as a trustee and continues to operate in the business and may borrow new money with court approval. So it's like you're on probation. To make itself solvent, Rite Aid has closed over 600 stores and it's selling about 78 neighborhood pharmacies. It's making deals with the Justice Department trying to bring down that bill. And it's also decreased the amount of hours that it's staying open. If you look at this comparison chart between Rite Aid and the other retailers, you can just see that it's not holding up the snuff what the others are doing. There's so much mass and momentum with these huge behemoth of organizations, and they are literally the small dog. I mean, let's be honest. How many times have we seen companies go bankrupt, they cut back, they make huge cuts, they focus on the one or two things that they can do really, really well in the marketplace, and then they thrive, they grow, they get bigger. It's possible for Rite Aid to come back, but right now, seems really common for everyone to kind of just rain on the parade of Rite Aid, like it's all shutting down, they're all closing, the whole thing's going bankrupt. So what's the future? What's the hope? I think for those that can ride the storm, there's going to be new opportunities. There's going to be innovation happening in this. It's still going to operate. It's not going to shut down, but I do believe that it's coming near its point of no return. And I think pharmacists see that. They're very hesitant to work with Rite Aid. What's bittersweet about this is that there's actually quite a few pharmacists that are saying that Rite Aid is way better than some of the other larger chains. We found some really great comments on Glassdoor, like one said, very nice place and great customers, team was great. Another one said, great system, super easy. And here is another comment that said, highly depends on your manager. And this is the key thing that's true for almost every community pharmacy career path. In fact, if you want to learn more about what we think community pharmacy ranks in terms of the other career paths, you can check out a video in the description. For retail pharmacy, it's highly manager or even district leader specific. If you're wanting to get into this as a career path, do your due diligence and find out what people are saying about that culture, that district. Are they happy? Do they have complaints? Do they feel ignored? Vast majority of pharmacists feel burnt out and left out. And I think that you're not doing yourself any favor if you don't find this out if you're going to take a job with Rite Aid. On the negative side of things, some pharmacists said things like the lesser of three evils compared to who. A few people on Glassdoor and Reddit had said things that because they're making so many cuts, more people are losing benefits, it's making things harder and harder to achieve the results that leadership wants. So where does this leave Rite Aid today? Well, they're currently restructuring. They're cutting a lot of stores that likely aren't profitable or maybe just slightly profitable. As of June 2024, they've closed an additional 77 stores and likely going to be closing more in the future. They're also selling off Elixir Solutions, which was one of those costs that we talked about earlier. And ultimately, I hate to say it, but for the company, these are probably good things. As a business owner, I can relate to the idea that you want to grow, you want to see your business thrive, so you invest in lots of different things. And usually they don't work out, but you're like, I have to keep investing, I have to keep putting forth and creating new things in order to bring in more people and more customers and to keep growing. And it's an addictive mentality that I know many executives unfortunately commit because they're paid on bonuses, right, and profits. According to one report, Rite Aid has secured $3.4 billion in new financing, probably through one of those court orders. And I think that helps stretch out the future and helps them cover some costs, some litigation fees, find a new balance. They've also appointed a new leader named Jeffrey Stein, CEO and Chief of Restructuring Officer. What a fun title. And the courts are, they're overseeing everything. I'm not sure what that is like. I know like courts manage like, you think of like divorce court where, two partners come forth and they have to talk to a judge about their kids and all of that. And it's like, you're having to manage people's stuff, their drama. But imagine now you're a judge and you're managing a company that's making billions of dollars in revenue, and you have to cut through the BS. Quite a task. More power to those judges. I don't know how they do it. So what should you do if you're finding yourself in the aftermath of this bankruptcy? I would highly recommend that you update your resume. Get out there, start networking, meet new people. Heck, talk with us. We would love to talk to you about how we can help you get a better job in less than 6 months in our career coach program. There'll be a link in the description. You can talk with one of our team members to learn more about how we do that. I think that if you're on the front lines, there's definitely some cause for concern, right? Everyone sees the sink shipping, so lots of people want to jump ship. And there's some validity to that. I do think that there will be some stores that will remain Rite Aid for the next coming years. I don't think Rite Aid is going away. We'll see what they do. So we've covered the rise and fall of Rite Aid. What do you think? What did we leave out? There's so many details, so many news articles to potentially share in these things, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on these videos. Your feedback is so important and makes them better for us. So if you like this video, hey, why don't you subscribe as we talk more about pharmacies. We talk about pharmacy careers, pharmacy companies, and all things helping you find work that actually makes you happy as a pharmacist. Thanks for watching this video, and until I see you in the next one, stay curious and take care.